Hello and welcome back to the Villa Filler podcast. I'm here as always with my good friend Dan Wiseman. Dan, back again, mate. Another transfer rumour mill. First of all, how you doing, bro?
Yes, very good, mate. Couple of players I'm super excited to talk about today. So yeah, all good, mate. I'm very happy to be back again with you.
Likewise, brother, likewise. But before we get into that, guys, we have a message from today's video sponsor. This video is sponsored by the wonderful guys over at OneFootball. It is the place to get all of the most up-to-date football news, scores, articles, live updates. You couldn't ask for more. Dan, we use this app every single day of our lives, and they've been kind enough to sponsor us here at the Villa Filler again.
Yeah, it powers the podcast, mate. It's my go-to place for live scores, stats, and news from 200 leagues, 12 different languages. It's got the lot, mate. I can't recommend enough.
So, guys, if you check out OneFootball using the link in the top of the description, it'll help us out, it'll help you guys out, and it'll help you just enjoy the game that little bit more. Be like Dan and I, download OneFootball. That'll do. So, guys, if you haven't checked out OneFootball, make sure you do so using the top link in the description. Helped us out more than you could imagine. Now, Dan, we're back again. I think this is the third time we're speaking about Kamara of Marseille. And I mean, I've run out of superlatives to describe how much of a wonderful player he is, but we only mention him because not only are we talking about a fellow teammate today, but there have been a few developments in the Kamara saga. Fabrizio Romano has been expressing all of Villa's interest in him as well. And I believe I read in The Athletic, I don't have the piece to hand, so please don't quote me on this, but I read somewhere that Atletico Madrid, who of course we are interested in their Jeffrey Kondogbia, have reportedly, prepared a wage package of around 80 grand a week for Kamara, which I'm not being funny, mate. It's absolute peanuts for this guy. It really is, and I do genuinely think if he comes to Villa, we will look to be offering around the 120k mark because we're competing with big boys here. Atleti are no mugs. Manchester United are interested as well. There's so many big clubs around Europe who've been sniffing around Kamara. And I just thought it was interesting as well because obviously, mate, not so long ago, we were talking about Jeffrey Kondogbia, and it's almost as if Villa and Atletico have found themselves in this awkward, love triangle over holding midfielders, and it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out, mate.
Yeah, mate, I'm very happy. Third time talking about this guy. I'll do another if you want. Absolutely love BOUBACAR Kamara. We decided to come back to him for a number of reasons, as you say, mate. There are obviously that transfer saga in which we're sort of in with a lot of different clubs, keeps on sort of evolving. So we wanted to update you on that. But obviously, a lot has changed for him. Since we last spoke about him as well. Marseille are enjoying a very good season in Ligue 1 this year. They're currently sat second in the league, I believe. And this sort of comes after a bit of a disappointing season last year where they finished fifth. So they're back up towards the summit of Ligue 1. They're very much best of the rest. And I think when you're in that league with PSG, you almost deserve a trophy for finishing second because it's like a separate league altogether. You basically give them first place and then there's an actual league table after that. So, Marseille are the Villa Fillers Ligue 1 winners for 2021-2022. Congratulations. They're
trophies in the post.
Yeah, exactly. They're in the Europa Conference League semi-finals, which we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, mate. They've got Feyenoord. And all of this success, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that BOUBACAR Kamara has been the backbone. He's held it all together. He's enabled them to get this far in the competitions. He's a metronome in that midfield that just keeps that Marseille ticking over, winning that ball back, keeping it simple, playing the passes. And for his age, he's displayed extraordinary sort of sense of maturity, really, in that midfield that attracted the boys, Christian, Johan and Stevie, out to France to watch him in their recent game. I think it was against Nantes when they were out there. It was 3-2. They were out there for the game. BOUBACAR started at the base of that midfield in that game, played quite well. Marseille won 3-2. So it seems like when those guys are out there watching a player. And look, there's nothing to say that it definitely was BOUBACAR Kamara, but the links would suggest that's pretty good signs, because they don't go and do this for every player that they've got a base interest in. You know, otherwise they'd be flying around every other week to go and watch Atletico or Marseille or these crazy teams that we have players linked to. It's usually as things are starting to tick on that they'll actually go and watch the guy in person, because as I said, you know, for the level of the hierarchy to be out there in Marseille, things must be getting pretty serious, because they don't fly out to France to watch these games for nothing. So yeah, very, very exciting. And whether it is BOUBACAR Kamara or his teammate, as you said, Duje, and I don't actually know. I imagine both of us are going to butcher this. It's Caleta-CAR or KALETA-CAR. We're going to say it. I'm going to call him Duje. I think that's a bit easier. Yeah, whether it is either of those guys, both are pretty exciting, mate.
For sure, mate. And I think if anything, if nothing comes of this, we've learned that Christian Purslow has a villa somewhere in France. I think it's fair to assume. But no, I mean, what's exciting about this, mate, is it almost seems as if if you can kill two birds with one stone on one scouting mission, absolutely fantastic. And KALETA-CAR, which is the pronunciation I'm going to roll with, unless we have any Croatian listeners of the Villa filler who can correct me in the comments down below, please do so.
Please do. Yeah.
You know, I'm more than happy to learn myself, but especially if he's going to sign. But yeah, this is a really interesting one, mate, because not only is it a position which I think in more recent weeks, I think we've kind of awoken to the fact we perhaps need to strengthen at centre half. It's a right-sided centre half as well, and it's almost timed perfectly to the downturn in form of Ezri Konsa, which is it is what it is, really, mate, isn't it? And I think, you know, most people probably a month ago would have had a left-footed centre half on the agenda, but for one, they're incredibly rare to get, and it looks like the one that we have been linked with more often than not. I don't think we've actually done a filler on, mate, because it was so outlandish to think that Sven Botman would come to Villa. It seems he's agreed to join AC Milan. So, you know, are we looking to upgrade Konsa? Are we looking to cash in? I don't know. I'm not here to speculate that. We're here to tell you about KALETA-CAR and give you guys a bit of a rundown now. Made his debut at 17 for RB Salzburg and has won 4 league titles with them. Every season he played there, he won a league title, making 84 appearances for the club, which earned himself a transfer to Marseille, where it's safe to say, mate, he's established himself as one of the better centre halves in Ligue 1. Now, we know how difficult it is for players from this division to embed themselves, not just in the Premier League, but at Aston Villa, mate. You know, you look at Morgan Sanson, our guy, just can't seem to get into this team, having a really difficult time. But, you know, I referenced the 4 titles with Salzburg, mate, because, of course, you know, if you're playing for RB Salzburg, you're going to win the Austrian Bundesliga. That's just how it works. They have all the money, they have the scouting resources, they have the Red Bull network. You're a shoo-in, but at such a young age to be winning titles consistently, that kind of breeds the winning mentality that I think Steven Gerrard is looking to bring into this side, mate. You know, with the added experience of Callum Chambers, who's won a host of FA Cups, Coutinho, you need to say less, really, and Luca Dean is obviously somebody who has been competing for trophies at Roma and at Barcelona, and, you know, a short time at Paris Saint-Germain as well. It's experience, of course. It's in a different league, so you know, whether it's as relevant or not, I'm not too sure. It's going to be difficult making that step up to the Premier League, mate. But it's interesting seeing the profile here, and of course, you know, as you referenced earlier, mate, Marseille are 2 games away from a Europa Conference final, so you know, there's potentially another trophy on the cards there for him as well. That's what I find the most interesting about this link, mate, to be honest, because although, again, you know, as I say, unproven in the Premier League, you can't take a league title away from anyone, can you? Like, no, regardless of the league.
No, 100% not, mate. And it's you're no slouch if you come through that RB process. You know, if you're off that production line, then you're a good player. It's interesting you mentioned Morgan Sanson, because in all of the 3 times we mentioned Boubacar Kamara, we've forgotten to mention the fact that those guys played against each other, like alongside each other for the longest time. It was Sanson and Boubacar Kamara in that midfield. Duje came in behind them. I've got to be honest. I think I'll join a lot of Villa players when it's not a player that we'll know too much about. The only real personal interaction I've had with him is I signed him from RB Leipzig on a Football Manager save with Sunderland. We were all conquering that Sunderland team, multiple-time Champions League winners, and he was fantastic. He was at the heart of that with Reece Oxford, I believe, and they led his Champions League glory. So fantastic pairing. If Villa want my input, then 100%, because multiple Champions Leagues are on the way if we sign this guy. But back to the real world. He's they signed him for a hefty fee. That was 19 million euros back in 2018 at the tender age of 21. He has a lot of as in a very attractive profile for a centre half. He's 6'4". He's well 2-footed. He can play from the back quite well. He's well capped for Croatia. He's up to 22 caps there. He was actually in the initial squad for Euro 2016. So, he's been representing his nation since back then, although I think he was actually dropped out of the squad at the very last minute. But, he's been in that reckoning for a good, 6 years now. So testament to the size of the player that we're talking about, the profile that he holds in his home country. And this sort of came to fruition in January when he said, he revealed himself in an interview in France that he received an offer from Liverpool to join. He said he was very happy, given that they're one of the biggest clubs in Europe, that it was an honour. It means that he was performing well, but that he decided to stay with the club for the time being. He sort of left that classic player cliche, and he was like, we'll see what happens in the future. I'm focused on Marseille for now. But he confirmed himself that there've been concrete Liverpool interests. So, it's always helpful, and it's always a bit reassuring when you have that other club, especially, Liverpool rarely miss a beat on their transfers. Their recruitment is fantastic. So, if they're putting down these concrete sort of plans for him, that he's confirmed himself, that's definitely reassuring.
For sure, mate, for sure. And, he's made 30 apps across all competitions so far domestically this season. Scoring 2 goals, always nice. Love a defender who's going to chip in with the goals. Very solid pass completion rate at 88%, 93.6% short pass completion rate, 94.3% medium pass completion rate, and a bit of a dip there with 73.7% long pass completion rate. But, to me, somebody who's assured on the ball, fantastic. He's made 115 progressive carries so far this season, amassing 100, carrying the ball 3,175 yards. Again, that's the more than I've carried the ball this season. That's for sure.
Been dropping the ball. That's the difference.
But ultimately, a progressive centre half, young, only 25 years old, nowhere near his prime. Solid pass completion, mate. So he is more than a modern day centre half. Again, I have to hold my hands up like you, mate. Can't say I've seen too much of this guy, but Marseille are having a fantastic season, and as you say, mate, the Liverpool interest is certainly. It's interesting, really. So it does what it says on the tin, mate. It does exactly what it says on the tin. And I haven't seen a fee banded about, mate. So correct me if I'm wrong, or if you've seen one, please let me know.
I haven't.
I imagine this guy is going to cost you, probably anywhere north of £20 million. That's just the reality of the the market that we're going to be competing in, mate. Again, as well, if Liverpool are interested, generally they're not looking to kind of wheel and deal and see who they can pick up on the cheap. I think if you look at any of their business, I guess if you look at that Carvalho from Fulham that they're looking to get done, they're saying 7 mil for that. But I guess that's different when you're going for a younger player there. The fee is going to be, slightly different. And 25 years old again, and you know, for how important he'd be, playing 30 appearances so far this season for Marseille should tell you, you know, he's pretty much been ever present. So it'd be interesting to see where this one goes. And mate, if I'm being honest, I'm just excited that it's a name that isn't Joe Gomez that's linked to Villa.
Yeah, I mean, no, as far as I'm aware, obviously it would be rude to sign a player without any Liverpool links at all, would it?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, come on. They've got to have something even there. Even if it's a previous offer, there has to be some Liverpool tie in there. That's the catch with Stevie. So, yeah, whilst he hasn't played for them, there is obviously the Liverpool connection. Let me, he transfer list.
And yeah, the news came from Fichajes. I think they're a Spanish outlet actually. I've seen them pop up a lot recently. I can't really testify to how reliable that is. I saw it reported on Goal as well today. So I thought we'll hop on it. We'll give you guys a bit of a dive into what this guy has to say. And again, it's just another excuse to talk about BOUBACAR Kamara, mate. Which, you know, expect 3 more podcasts on him. Why not? But guys, if this transfer excites you, if you know more about him than we do, please let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And if you haven't downloaded OneFootball, make sure you do so using the top link in the description. Up the Villa.